Hi, I'm Bebe.
And I'm Stephen.
And we are
Just Another Knitting Podcast.
Welcome back to our regular viewers and welcome to new people. We've got a few new subscribers since last time. Big shout out to Sarah Volgren from Volgren Makes, who she posted on Instagram that she was watching the show. So hi.
Hello. Yep. Hey.
We love your show.
We do. And if you're an Les Starmore fan, I think you should check her out as well. She's also got a number of Les Starmore projects on the go.
Knitting two things that I want, but I don't want to make. And we will be discussing that later. But the two things are the Jade Starmore, which, oh my gosh, stunning. And the
Solier sweater, beautiful makes, and Sarah's doing an amazing job of making them, and it makes me want them. Both Les Starmore patterns. I can see I might have some more knitting in my future.
I'll let you knit some things for yourself, but then you have to knit some things for me again.
Oh, thanks.
I mean, I shouldn't say that because I'm very spoiled at the moment. I'm wearing... Oh, we'll get into that. Anyway, so...
Yes.
Shall I start with what I'm wearing?
No.
Or you start?
I think I'll start. So today I'm wearing Single Malt again. It's
a favourite?
It is a favourite. It's one that I wear regularly for all occasions. It's by Maxim Cyr, or also known as Max the Knitter. And this is one that I knit in the yarn that was basically the sweater was designed in, which was the British Aran, and the colourway for this one is Carmen's Way. That's right. Forgot for a second there. So yeah, I really enjoyed knitting this one. I wear it a lot. It's very comfortable.
He does wear it a lot.
A little surprisingly, it's a good fit. I did do a lazy bind off around the bottom, so it's a little bit tight in the bind off at the bottom, but that's my own choice, and I just live with it every time I put it on. And then
it's only really when you put it on that you notice it, and then when you're wearing it, you don't notice it.
Yeah, interestingly, it's one of those things that if you just want to do a quick cast off, you get the benefit of it right up front, but every single time you wear the jersey, you're reminded that you took the easy route. Yeah,
I've got that on a couple of necklines.
Yes, so that's what I'm wearing. What are you wearing, Bebe?
I'm wearing my favourite Sheshader. Well, one of my favourites. Everything I wear is my favourite when I'm wearing it. But so this is Jade Starmore knit in Soul and Goose. So Stephen knit this, and it's actually a cardigan. So it's Soul and Goose and another one that
Pebble Beach.
Pebble Beach. It's such a warm, comfy cardigan. It's actually a cardigan because it has buttons in the back, which is kind of fun. And so every time I wear it to work, somebody will say, "You're wearing your cardigan backwards." And now because people watch the show, hi guys, they do it on purpose to annoy me. No, just to be funny. So absolutely fantastic knit. I wear it. I really enjoy wearing it. It's very warm because I think it's quite dense fabric.
Yeah, it was knit on quite small needles. I think 2.75mm needles, and
he loves me, guys.
3.2. I think 3.25s are in there somewhere as well, but certainly the whole top piece. The colour work was 3.25.
And I guess because it's got colour work down the bottom, that makes it warm down the bottom. I often get cold in my neck and shoulders though, like my shoulders and my upper arms get cold when I'm at work, just I think from the aircon.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh well, if you do get cold shoulders, there is a solution for that.
That was a really bad segue.
If we move into finished objects. Yes, I finally managed to finish the eagle collar.
I'm going to put it on, but I just want to actually show you what it looks like while Stephen talks about the construction.
It's fully done and dusted. I'm extremely pleased with how it came out. Last time you saw this, it had a number of ends. It looked a bit snaggly.
No more.
The feathers were all curling and everything, and I was pretty confident that it would all come right once everything had got tacked down. So yes, a lot of my time over the last couple of weeks has been really just completing this. There was a good 200 odd ends that had to be not so much woven, but actually sewn down to the feathers below.
Yeah, so you can see now. So these ones are loose, but these ones here
they're all tacked down.
Tacked down, so they don't move at all. So when you're wearing it, you have the feeling of movement, but they all feel super secure.
Yeah, no, and it's
She's
good.
very smart.
It's a very clever pattern, and again, as I said before with the feathers, it's the design in such a way is that they sort of curl down rather than up too.
Yeah.
So they naturally sit pretty flat.
Yeah.
They have had a bit of a steam block, but they haven't really had any sort of intensive treatment to get them to sit as well as they do. So I'm really impressed and with
Thanks.
the design. And yeah, would knit again? Yeah, I'd knit again.
You're crazy.
I think the feathers actually were really good popcorn knitting.
Yeah, because you could do a couple like in the morning before work.
Yeah, you don't need the pattern. Once you know how they're done, you don't need to be referring to the pattern all the time. So it could be interesting sometime in the distant future.
You could knit the other one,
the lapwings and
Yeah.
the raven collar, and
Yeah.
she's bringing out a whole range of different collars at the moment. So.
Yeah, I need more for my different outfits.
All right. Well, at least you'll keep nice warm shoulders anyway.
So yes, so that was the segue. Is that I wore this to work the other day. So I posted up on Instagram a picture of me wearing it just as I was off to work, and a few people commented actually that it would be really good for an occasion, and I'm like, yeah, this is like my Met Gala outfit, but actually wearing it to work. More than happy to wear this just around the house, to work, down to the shops. Like, life's too short for me to save this for best, and it's just stunning. Like, it looks like I'm wearing, I think, a piece of art, and why not wear it in my everyday life?
Absolutely.
But I have to say, I got a lot of comments at work from people just interested in how it was constructed and just marvelling at how the beauty of it. And of course, I had to explain it was knit by Stephen. I was wearing the ensemble. But also a lot of double takes, people just going, what the heck is she wearing? So that was kind of fun, you know. I like being the centre of attention, so I didn't mind.
It's not your everyday scarf, is it?
No. And I have to say, it functionally, it works perfectly because it was a colder morning, so I wore it to work, and while the building is heating up in the morning, I was a bit chilly, so I wore it. And then by the time I'm kind of running around the building after lunch, I was able to take it off. So it's a great layering piece. Like if it was just a normal scarf, I wear those all the time, you know, just wrap a scarf over my shoulders when I'm a bit chilly, and it has that same effect. It's effectively just a cowl.
Yeah.
But what a cowl. Ta-da! I love it so much.
You're welcome.
It's the best thing I've ever owned. Yeah.
So, okay.
I have the best husband.
So yeah, no, that ends a number of months of.
But wait, there's
work.
more, because there's more pieces to this kit.
There is. If we're getting into future intentions, there is some additional complementary pieces that go in. I know Sarah has also started, at least I haven't seen a finished version of it, I don't think, knitting what's known as the dun cuffs.
Yes, I need them. Look, I'm bare. My hands are bare.
Yeah.
I'll get cold.
Well, yeah. So I've actually been saving all of the ends from this entire project because the cuffs themselves they're quite an intricate crafted piece as well that go around the wrists.
It's got stuffing in
and
it.
it has there's little tubes that are stuffed with wool. So
yeah, I saw Sarah's and I'm like, I want that.
Yeah, so they're really cool, and you can kind of mix and match the design on them too. So if you have 2 or 3 of them and just basically wear a different cuff.
Right. So with my lapwing collar and then my different cuffs.
Yeah. Mix and match
I just look like a maniac every day.
your pieces. That's correct.
Great. Oh, shall we move on?
We should move on.
To all my FOs?
Your FOs,
I
baby.
have none.
What?
I know.
Hang on a minute.
It's like reverse land. So I've been beavering away on a few things, but I haven't managed to finish anything, which is fine. I'm very much enjoying what I'm knitting, so I'm very happy. But we'll get to that. I guess, are we up to whips? Do you want to start?
Yeah, I should start.
Yeah.
So I also spent most of my 2 weeks working on said collar. So I haven't made a huge amount of progress, but just to go through where we're up to, I've been taking Glennie to work and trying to make some progress on that.
It's
So
coming along.
it is coming along. It's slowly increasing. Whoop.
Got it upside down.
There we go. You hold it.
Oh, okay, I can do
so we don't twist it. There we go. So this is where we're up to now with Glennie.
The colours are so beautiful.
It's obviously a colourwork sweater. It's knit in the round, so I'm looking forward to not having to deal with seams. It's also making my life a lot easier with regards to ends as well. So it is. It's
what do the ends look like? Oh, not too bad.
I mean, they're just down
the usual amount. Honestly, like you look at those and you're like, oh god. But actually, when it comes to weaving them in, it doesn't actually take that long. It takes you a couple of seconds for each one.
Well, actually, I've kind of been thinking ahead there. So I've actually been using the technique of weaving the ends in and out as I go. Mm-hmm. So before I start a colour, I actually will pick it up and effectively carry the float for about 6 or 10 stitches before, and then again 6 or 10 stitches after. So technically, for most of those ends, all I need to do is just snip them, and they will be done.
Amazing.
So like I say, I got kind of learned my lesson on dealing with ends. So that's
it's stunning. It's going to be such a good knit to wear. You just need to get it
keep
done.
them on the needles. So so this is what I'll be working on for the majority of the next couple of weeks now. So looking forward to that, both at work and at home. Did we want to do my other one yet?
Yeah, we'll go you and then me.
Okay, so the other whip that I've got at the moment is Biblopile 3 by Alicia Plummer.
Oh, I love this.
Did we say that? Glennie by Jade Starmore.
Oh yeah, Stephen's obsessed with the Starmore family.
Yeah. So anyway,
can't wait till we get to meet them and we're just like.
This one's a bit hard to look at because it's actually on the cable's probably a little bit small for it. It's all bunched up. So again,
that happens when you're knitting a raglan.
It's just a standard. Well, it's not a standard raglan. It's a raglan construction. It's knit in Wild Earth Yarn Somerset. Colourway is grape. It's DK.
Yep.
And I'm knitting it on 4mm needles.
The colour is beautiful. It's actually not dissimilar to what you're wearing. It's just like different. Like this is a red tone and that's a brown tone.
Yeah, I have this thing about reds and purples.
Yeah.
In fact, most of my jerseys, as you may have noticed, are
some shade
of red or purple. And every time I start one, I'm like, no, not going to be red, not going to be purple. It's maybe green or blue.
Yeah,
I mean, green's my favourite colour, and I've got no green jerseys.
And when I tried to knit him a green jersey, he said no.
Yeah.
And I ended up knitting him that was the origin. The rift.
And it's in red. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the story is there, but I do need to get myself a green jersey.
So this is interesting because the construction of this. So I've also knit this garment, and it's so the raglan it's like a compound raglan where you do rapid raglan increasing, right?
Yeah, that's right. So where I said before, it's a standard raglan. Well, actually, corrected myself. It's not a standard raglan.
So you do raglan increasing on every round, or if you're knitting back and forth, you do them on the wrong side row.
Yeah.
So basically, every row is a raglan increase.
Yeah. So this one is a standard raglan where it's like every other round, and so it's a nice sort of diagonal, uncurved raglan on it.
Yeah. Whereas this will curve out dramatically before it starts going down.
Yeah, you can definitely see the curve on it up close anyway.
And as we were talking about this last night and talking about the difference between why you would want to do that, like why do a rapid raglan increase? Like, is it just a fashion thing to have that rapid raglan increase, or is there a reason for it? And we were talking about have you got your other?
Yeah, I do. Gib 2. So I have it here.
This is...
Not that we've prepared this earlier.
This will all come together and just come along for the journey. So
I was wearing Gib 2 last week. I wore it to work. And I decided that as much as I like this jersey, and I've talked to it before about having a long, flat neck at the front, it's actually not a jersey I find myself reaching for.
Give me Gib 2.
Okay, so it has a straight cabled raglan, so the raglan itself isn't
very pretty.
It's not super stretchy. It's also quite a dense fabric as well. So again,
Oh, now I'm nice and warm. 2 jumpers on.
excellent. Yeah, double layering. But what I determined is as wide as this is at the neck, it's actually not got a lot of fabric in the shoulders. And so what I find it does is when I actually put it on, the arms are quite short for me.
Well, they fit me, so they're going to be too long.
And it
short
pulls. So it actually pulls the shoulders even wider apart.
So your option are shorter sleeves or...
Yeah, so I actually did an experiment where I sort of pulled the sleeves up to get enough fabric in the shoulders so that it was actually a comfortable sort of stretchiness.
Fabric, yeah.
And my sleeves literally were like, mid forearm, which
right.
goes to show that they're not long enough, really. And I knit that to pattern. So
yeah, and what we were talking about is I've kind of been like, part of the reason I knit Reglins is because I have I'm narrow in the shoulders and chest. So my upper bust is 89 centimeters and Stephen's is 120 centimeters. And so, but we're effectively knitting quite a similar size. Like I'm only knitting down one size from Stephen usually. And so mostly, other than the neckline, as you can see, and the length, this jumper is a cozy oversize, would fit me. And if I went down a size, it would be probably the right size for me. But we have very different upper bust sizes.
Yes.
Like we are very different here. So for me, I like Reglins because other than the neckline, this actually fits quite well at the top. Like if it had a more closed neckline, it would actually fit. It would be an oversized because it is quite large.
Doesn't need to be
but
as
not
long.
super oversized.
No.
It actually fits everywhere else quite nicely.
Because, I mean, let's be honest, it's a size up from what you would normally wear.
Yeah. Yeah, but I could wear it. But so what we were talking about is that this is made this is a male-bodied sweater. Yeah. And so it's made for a man. And the way that Andrea has, well, we think.
Yeah, this is our suppositions
preface by saying, don't know anything about pattern designing.
No, we just have to wear the product.
We just from knitting and wearing Reglins. What it seems like to me is that in order to get a male-sized pattern, some pattern designers will just cast on more stitches. I haven't checked this because there is 2 versions of this jumper. It would be good to check it, but I'm not going to buy the pattern just to check that. But so cast on more stitches in order that you are wider across the shoulders and therefore you have more room in your upper bust, and then just do normal Reglins. Because there's basically 3 ways to get from here to here and have it fit all the way. And one way is start with more stitches here to make it bigger.
Yeah, not a fan. Yeah.
No, and this is what you end up with.
Yeah.
And the reality is that most humans' necks and heads are the same size. Like Stephen's got a bigger head than me, but not that much bigger, not this much bigger, which means that it looks boat necky on you.
It does. It really does look boat necky.
And I guess the other way would be that you just knit the raglan for longer, so that way you end up with a deeper arm side. And this one's actually pretty good. It's not too big.
No, that's okay under the arm. It does get a little tight.
Forearm,
but
because that suffers from Andrea's I really love tight sleeves problem.
Yeah, I've only knit one Andrea Murray pattern, so I wouldn't know.
I've knit a few, and they all are pretty much the same. But so she has dealt with the problem of how to make it wide enough for a man by just making the neckline wider and keeping the raglan increasing the same number so that it will fit to get out far enough for a man. So it fits nicely.
Yeah, around the middle. Around the middle and everything, it's perfectly fine and it's good length. It's just the shoulders.
And so then Alicia Plummer has taken the other option, which is do rapid increasing. So cast on the same number of neckline stitches and then rapidly increase out to go outwards before you start going down. So that you actually have more shoulder space.
Yeah, Biblopile 3 is the first compound raglan that I've knit. So I'm going to be really interested to see what sort of fit
will be really
that has
interesting.
around the shoulders for me. So.
And so I wonder why, and we didn't talk about this in advance.
Oh, I already have thought about this.
So why does that fit so well?
Okay, I believe that this one fits really well. I mean, it's good around the neck.
It is good around the neck.
It's not got a huge number of stitches in the neck,
Yeah.
but it is a standard raglan.
Yeah.
But what you might notice about this is it's actually got a very interesting textured stitch pattern, which is actually,
very
he says if he can get past,
stretchy.
it's really tight. It's really stretchy.
Yeah, okay.
And
so it just has more give.
This was knit on a 5mm needle.
Yeah.
So really
up here it just has more give.
Yeah, so if I'm wearing a white shirt, for example, when I take this to work, you can actually see little bits of white
I can see
through the shoulders.
I can see a t-shirt.
Whereas it bunches up in the main part of the body. So there's definitely the same issue with regards to the fabric stretch on the shoulders, but it's not a problem because it's got enough give in it, it doesn't pull my arms up.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't pull the neck. And I might have done a tight neck bind off as well. So
interesting. So anyway, I found that really interesting because I love raglans. Like I have found a shape that fits me really well.
Yeah.
And because I'm quite narrow. I didn't realize I was narrow on the shoulders until I started making my own garments, but as it turns out I am. And the raglan suits me very well. And then I can have control over, like I have it nice and fitted in my shoulder and my neckline, and then I have control over what happens next. So I could I could do bust shaping, I could do more raglan increases to make it a longer arm, or I can just cast on extra stitches under the arm to make sure it's wide enough in the body. Like I have lots of options with a raglan.
Yeah. Well, you know the other solution to the raglan issue around the shoulders and that as well.
For you?
No, just in general.
Oh, yeah.
Don't knit a raglan.
Oh, yeah.
Set-in sleeves?
This has a set-in sleeve.
Yeah.
And what I find with these garments is that the set-in sleeve ends up off my shoulder. And this jumper, I asked you to knit a size smaller than probably I should have knitted it for my body, and it is quite tight, but I like it actually being quite fitted because I knew that this set-in sleeve was going to end up down my arm if I went up a size, and that's always a problem for me.
Well, the thing is too with the set-in sleeves though is you often find that the garments that have set-in sleeves are knit bottom up
and flat
and probably seamed, so you don't have a lot of options if you actually want to mod it. And you never know exactly how it's going to come until you put those final seams in.
And then you go, oh. And I had so many disappointments. Well, not so many, but all of my early garments were disappointments because I was knitting them flat, set-in sleeves seamed, and they just didn't work.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess a lot of people like knitting flat and getting seams and things because they give the garment a bit more structure than perhaps a raglan does.
Well, and for you... So, I guess for a man, because you can control this proportion better.
Yes.
If you're knitting flat, but it will take it. You have to be able to knit to your body better, and neither of us know how to do that.
Which is why
it's
Rift.
More disastrous.
Well, that's why Rift is really good because again, that's knit flat in the top part, and you know the shoulders have actually been designed by Jared Flood for a male shoulder, so they're nice and wide, and then the sleeves are set in. But
so we probably should move on. But I just wanted to say I watched. We actually both watched.
Yeah.
Nora Gon has a podcast. Very good, so interesting. It's so interesting to hear about her design process. But she, in her latest episode, talked about. I thought it was so interesting. She said, "Don't really like knitting raglans, but I understand that other people want." Top down in the round garments, and raglans is the easiest way to do that, but she said I don't really love raglans, so how can I construct a shoulder where it's going outwards without a raglan? And so she kind of did a bit of a not a deep dive but a shallow dive.
A show and tell really. I think she's going through a design process and she's
so
experimenting.
Interesting.
So yeah, and
she said she basically said that Europeans generally knit the triangle back, like where you have the seam sits at the back, like
Yeah.
in the back of your shoulder, where you knit the triangle and then you pick up the seams on either side and knit up and over to create the fronts, and then you join them up. And she said that's pretty much how Europeans do it. She's like, that's not an American thing to do. I want to be able to, I don't know.
I mean, it is true. A lot of the
Who
European
knew?
designers at the moment are doing
Well, I think she meant petite knit.
that. Yeah.
But she didn't want to say it. And I guess like Rebecca Clow also does that as well. And Ozetta and my favourite thing that's knitwear, those kind of Scandi knitters, designers do it as well. Which I think is fine. But so she had some ideas around how to get the centre seam at the top. And she talked about what do they call it when it's like you have a piece down here?
A saddle shoulder?
Yeah,
or?
saddle shoulder. I'm really keen to knit a saddle shoulder jumper. Maybe if she comes out with... So she's doing some designing at the moment. So if she comes out with a pattern that has a saddle shoulder, maybe I'll knit one. Because I know Rebecca Clow has a saddle shoulder. She has a couple, actually, of jumpers. And so that's the other way to get a jumper that... So if you want a set-in sleeve or a drop shoulder, but don't want to knit flat in pieces, here is another way to do it. So I'm kind of interested in that. And I'm assuming with a saddle shoulder, you knit the saddle and then you knit down both sides because you have the stitches on either side.
Yeah, you do. So St. Bridget, Les Starmore, was a saddle shoulder. And yes, I was just trying to think of what I did on the construction there, on the pieces. But yes, the shoulder part was actually knit separate. And the arm was actually pieced into it and seamed.
No, but the front and back you must... Oh, because that's seamed. That's different.
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
no.
But it is a saddle shoulder.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, we probably should move on because like we did take on board that a lot of people said we don't mind if you go long, but we also don't want to make this go an hour and a half long.
No.
Because we have to do other things to go and do. Anyway, so kind of an interesting deep dive. I feel like in the last week I've learned a lot about what my preference is, why things fit better for me, why some things are harder for me to knit and then get a good fit. And it's really just about weighing up where it's going to fit on me. And also I'm going to do a little bit more research on the difference between measuring your upper bust and your full bust and why you would take a different measurement, because I think that's very interesting, because my upper bust and full bust aren't actually that different from each other, but probably a size different.
Right.
And I have been going down a size, even though it feels a bit scary, and getting better fit. And I think it's because of that upper bust, full bust measurement thing. Because there's 10 centimetre, 6 or 7 centimetre difference, depending on the time of the month, between the depending on the two of them. Anyway, let's move on.
Okay, so that was my whip.
Have you forgotten?
Bibliophile 3.
It's on the floor because we got excited.
Yeah.
Here it is. Ta-da.
So again,
compound raglan. Let's see how it turns out.
Indeed, I'll try and get a significant amount more done on that too. I'll take that one to work, I think, over the next couple of weeks.
It's got easy knitting.
Easy knitting.
You're almost through the raglans.
I now am nearly through. I've got about 6 more rounds to go.
All right, so
what's your whip now, Phoebe? There's a big blue thing.
Yes, I've made some good progress on my Iola, which is by Kate Davies. So this is a cardigan by Kate Davies, and it has a cable, it's slip stitches, but it looks like a cable pattern on the back, which is here, and on the fronts. So I'm partway through. I've picked up the top band collar neckline and knitted that, and then I've done this one, which is the button band.
Yeah.
And then I'm just at the point now where I'm doing the buttonhole band.
It's got quite an interesting buttonhole technique on it.
Yes, so I actually had a go at this morning and ripped it out. Well, tinked it back.
That's right, you did.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned that.
No, I'm happy to talk about it. I kind of thought I'll do it and see what I think of it, and then I'll do it again if I want to, which I have now ripped it back out, and we'll do it again. And what it is it hasn't. So both the bind offs are I-cord bind offs. It's a 2-cord I-cord, two stitch I-cord, and the button holes are just made by creating some I-cord and binding off some stitches. So you create a 3-row I-cord and then bind off 2 stitches, and that creates both the hole and then the loop. So it's a loop rather than a hole. Yeah, and so I did those, and I didn't really like the spacing of them. I just need to figure out better spacing, because I had I'm not going to go into it, but I didn't quite figure out how the stitch marker related to where the I-cord goes, and so I'm going to redo the stitch markers and re-knit it. It only took about an hour in total.
Yeah, I think the pattern instructions seem to be a little bit more freeform than...
It didn't tell me where to put the buttonholes.
Yeah, whereas I think when I was knitting Sheshader, it was very specific. Every size has a, knit this many stitches and then cast off a couple and then knit some more. And you knew what you were doing the whole time.
I just need to figure out the button spacing, and I just wanted to take my time. Like I'm doing this thing where I'm actually just trying to slow down and knit more mindfully. I've said this before, but actually sometimes I want to just get something finished, and I was kind of driving to try and get the buttonhole finished this morning so we could film and I could say, ta-da, it's done. But actually that's not going to make me happy in the long run, because I have to wear this, for years,
you
hopefully.
want to wear it, yeah.
And I want it to be right. And if the buttonholes weren't in the right place, then I would notice that, and I just wouldn't reach for it because I wouldn't be happy with it. So trying to be more mindful about my knitting to make a better product, because it's the product I'm after. I want to be able to have something beautiful that I can wear that I'm happy with. And I just want to say I played excellent yarn chicken, because the first time I knit the button band, I had about 10 centimetres of yarn left, so I was pretty stoked with that. So hopefully it'll be the same the second time I knit it.
Fingers crossed. So it's quite an intricate knit too.
Yeah.
Have you found it challenging, or is there any particular part that's challenging?
It was so good. It was so it just flowed really nicely. I learned the pattern easily, and she's a very good designer. Like, it just, the way that the pattern was put together was simple for my simple brain, I think.
Right, so it's quite accessible.
I think so, yeah, if you want to delve into cables, because it's not cables, but it looks like cables. I think it's really good. It's a really good, it's a slip stitch pattern. She uses Noragon's slip stitch dictionary, she says that, for a bunch of her knits. So if you wanted to actually put a panel like this in, you could actually just go to a stitch dictionary.
Oh, and just make your own one
and make your own one.
Once
so
you know what the...
I've got the template. I could actually make another version of a garment like this if I want to do.
There's like infinite replayability sort of thing.
Yep. Same with the collar. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that.
No.
I just want to say that the yarn is Outlaw Rapture, which is 80% merino, 20% silk. So it's not soft. It feels cottony, but I think when it washes up, it's going to be beautiful. I love my other merino silk garments, so I'm really excited. Like your St. Bridget is merino silk. Really excited to have this. The colourway is This Time Will Pass, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a great knit. It's just like every time I look at it, I'm like, oh, it's so nice. I love it. So that's always a good sign.
Fantastic.
I haven't hated it for ages. I did when I first started, but I always hate things a little bit at some points. Okay, I'll just blast on through these.
Yeah, because I've got no more.
Yeah. I did the same thing with this one, that I noticed that one of the Reglins, this is the Zua Light Man by Petite Knit, and it's knit in Wild Earth Naturals in the colourway Pebble, and the naturals are half breed yarn, which is a New Zealand yarn, which half breed is a half breed of merino and
it's an actual sheep type.
Yeah, it's an actual sheep.
So it's not random sheep A and random sheep
brand,
B.
but it's whatever they're called. Yeah, breed.
So you
not brand.
Romneys and merino and half breed.
Yeah, they half breed them with a few different shapes apparently. Anyway, so I was almost finished the Reglin increases, and then I noticed that I had done a left leaning rather than a right leaning increase, so I dropped down to try and fix it and then really messed it up. And I was like I looked at it when I'd seen I'd made a mistake and thought, oh, I'll just leave it. And then I knitted another couple of rows, and then I was like, I don't want to leave it. I want to fix it because it's for somebody, and I don't want to give something to somebody and go, I know it's got a flaw in it. Like, I know we can't knit perfectly, but if I can fix it, why would I not fix it? So I thought I'll drop down and see if I can fix it, and if I bugger it up, then I'll just tink it. So then I tinked about 10 rows in the end. Yeah, which I'm happy with. Like, I was sitting there doing it, and the people I were with were, so it was Val and Lisa and Sam, were like, oh no. But I'm like, no, I'm actually really happy to tink something, because it means what I'm doing is mindfully making it how I want it to be. Because I don't want it to have that flaw in it, that error, if I know I can fix it.
Well, tinking's part of the journey too, right? I mean,
I think you just have to, treat it
you can't
way.
get it right first time all the time. Sometimes you just have to.
Sometimes I knit a whole garment, no tinking.
Yeah, you just got to put yourself in that mindset where you can go back and you can almost enjoy the process of
changing it.
Yeah, and pulling those stitches out,
making it better. And that's exactly the mindset I had with this. So I felt happier. I knew that as soon as I tinked it, I would feel happier, and I do feel happier with it. So yay! So that's the Zipper Sweater Light Man that I'm knitting for my friend Paul. And that's got a kind of a time crunch. It's a long way away, but I've got about a month, 5 weeks to get that done, which is plenty of time for me. So as soon as I finish Iola, that's what I'm gonna smash through and get that finished. And then, just because I wanted to get some other things done.
Yeah, in that time crunch. Yeah,
I thought I'd cast on a hat. Yeah, so I made a commitment to knit 2 hats for, well, I thought it was 1 hat, but then for a guest speaker for, I'm on the National Council of Women, and we're having our AGM, our local branch AGM, in a couple of weeks. And I said, yeah, I'll knit the guest speaker a hat as a gift. Rather than giving her a box of chocolates, let's make her a hand knit garment. And then I realised there was 2 of them. There was 2 guest speakers. So I've got to make 2 hats.
You could have given them a ticket and they could draw out of a hat and
decide who gets
like a
it.
raffle, yeah.
Anyway, so I thought, I can make 2. This is the basic beanie by Tin Can Knits. I know I kind of debated, same thing again.
Time crunch.
If I did it as a not folded over, because that's one of the pattern options in the pattern. The pattern is the basic beanie by Tin Can Knits. I said that already. But, if I just did it as a flat rather than folded over, I could knit it faster. But I think that a folded over brim is a better option for somebody if I don't know the head size. So I thought I'll do 2x2 rib, because that will fit a range of heads. And I'll do it with a folded brim, because then basically you can adjust the brim up and down depending on how you like to wear your beanie and how flat your head is. Mm-hmm. So I'm taking my time rather than rushing, even though there is a time limit on this. I have to get it done. I've got like 3 weeks. That's tons of time.
Tons of time. And 5 weeks for your zipper sweater.
Yeah. That's
not concurrent. I mean, not end on end, but all concurrent.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, this is a couple of evenings of knitting.
That's true. You'll blast through it.
Yeah, another evening and I'd get it done. Because I'm almost actually at the decreases now. So this is Wild Earth yarn. This is the Aspen.
This is the one that we were talking about last episode that feels velvety. Yeah.
Velvety. Yeah, it's so nice. I mean, that's the thing I like about it. I just love this yarn. Aspen, this is the colourway Cypress, which is like a nice, I can't describe colours, but it's green.
Dark green, yeah.
Green.
Yeah, it's a dark green.
Yeah, but like a tealy green.
Yeah.
Not a greeny green.
It's got a very, very faint bluish green to it. It's like sea green.
Okay. Anyway, sea green.
Yeah.
So that's the hat, and I'm going to knit another one in this colour. This is using stash yarn, so following the rules.
That's right.
I had stashed some of this just to be able to do this with, actually, to be able to pick something up. So I have a few different colours where I've got 2 balls of this. And this one is called Carnelian, so it's like a pinky red.
Yeah, it's got a real depth to it, that colour as well. Do you think it's on a dark base?
No, it's not.
It's not. It's just the
Oh,
way
it doesn't say that it is.
No, it just that there's a like almost the underlying fibers almost look quite dark. So I was just curious because I know they do.
Yeah, they do dye,
blender.
but they don't. Not this one. Your Somerset is, but this one I don't think so.
Okay.
Not Black Sheep. You're right though. It does have lighter pops, and that's what that is. Anyway, so knitting a couple of hats. I like hats. Hats are like socks. They're, you just take them with you, and I'm going to bring this with me when we go out this afternoon.
I'm wearing my knitted socks right now.
Oh, are you? Nice. Oh, cute. And then lastly, made a little bit of progress. This is my carrying around knitting, so I just whip it out every time. I was knitting at work the other day, and people were like, what on earth is that? And I was like, it's a sock. And I'm like, for who? People
Who's got a narrow leg?
People were confused. I'm like, they stretch. That's the whole point. So, it's a 2x2 rib. So I showed them the joys of knitting a sock for somebody that you don't know, because you've never met, means that if you do a 2x2 rib, it's likely to fit anybody's foot, anybody's ankle.
Yeah, you've got lots of room.
Lots of room for movement. Yeah, so that is knit in the Socks Easy Wash, which is alpaca and nylon yarn, made in Peru, and I got this from Lupine in Auckland. They sell that, and they actually sell it locally here as well.
Oh, do they? Oh, nice.
They sell it at the shop in Rangiora, which I can't remember the name of, so I shouldn't have mentioned it. Anyway, Lululu. That's all my whips. It feels a little much, but I feel like there's an end in sight, so I'm gonna.
Right, you're not stressing about it.
No.
Only the three of the four that have got time limits.
Yeah, I mean they all need to be got done, but yeah. So my order of business is hats where I can, and then get my cardigan knitted, because I do want to be able to finish it before it gets too cold, because it will get too cold for me at some point. Like a DK weight does get too cold for me in the middle of winter.
Right.
And then the zipper sweater light, which will, if I put my head down, I could get that done in a couple of weeks.
Okay. Alrighty. So if we move on from whips,
I want to talk about my acquisition first.
All right, you go first. Acquisitions.
So I went to see Lisa from Unwind and Knit With Me. She has a podcast, but she also has a shop, because I needed to get some needles for the hat that I'm making.
Right.
Because I needed 3.75 mil needles and the shorter Chiago's, the 10 centimetre.
And something else fell into your basket?
And she's like, oh, have you seen this? And I was like, oh, God, I know I'm going to buy it. Can't help myself. Yeah, so she has kits for the Shetland Wool Week hat. I made the one last year to wear to Shetland Wool Week. And I really enjoyed it. And I would like to make another one. I thought it would make a really nice gift, actually. So I can just knit it and then set it aside, and it'll be a gift for somebody when I need to whip out a gift. I quite like doing that. I've done it before. And so this is called, the one this year is called the Iola Tori, which is, Stephen will put it up, sorry, which is designed by the Shetland Guild of Spinners, Knitters, Weavers and Dyers this year. So they have a different designer and a different design each year to celebrate Shetland Wool Week. And this is the kit that I got, which is Jameson and Smith's 4-ply yarn, and so I got, there's different colour kits. This is the Uredale kit, and it's kind of browns and creams and grey.
Very natural shades.
Yeah, and I don't have a hat in these colours, so if I knit it and decide I love it, then I will keep it for myself, because I've got a couple of jumpers that I think this would go really nicely with.
Yeah, so good neutrals.
And I personally feel like you can never have too many hats, and I kind of want to match my hat with my outfit, because I wear hats a lot in the winter, and so I want them to match. So this will fit really well into my neutrals wardrobe when I'm wearing my neutral hats. And
you're gonna consider the height of the hat as well?
Yeah, so the hat pattern, I'll just put this bit up, has, you can see there's 1, 2, 3 repeats of that colour. I'm actually going to start halfway through the first repeat of that that you can see of that light colour, because both of the other tories I've made have been too deep, and by about the amount of the band.
Right.
But I also have the option with this one, because it's a plain band, of just flipping the band up and making a rolled, a folded.
So it's not colour work.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get the floats showing on the outside.
Yeah, so I could actually also just make the band a bit longer and flip it up if I wanted to. So I've got a couple of options. I'll have a think about it.
Are you going to take the option of having the tassels on the top?
Yeah, I love the tassel. It's cute.
Okay.
You hate the tassel.
I'm not a fan, but
I'll see.
That's just me though, right?
I'll see.
I like everything to be
neat and tidy.
Yeah,
I'm a bit the same. So it's probably a wee bit fussy, and that's why I don't wear pom poms either, because I just want to be able to stuff a hat in my pocket when I'm out and about. Like I wear it and then you warm up, and so then you don't want to wear a hat anymore.
Yeah, well, I'm also a fidgeter, so I guarantee if I had one like that, I'd be constantly like hanging onto it or spinning it around.
Oh yeah, okay, not good, and then it would fall off.
No, and it would annoy some people.
Anyway, so that's the Shetland Wool Week Tory kit that's future plans. Like I don't have a plan to knit that. I've got a lot of other things to knit, but I would like to knit it for winter.
Maybe in about 6 weeks then.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it.
After your 5-week zipper sweater.
I know. Well, this is a problem. Where am I going to put that in my schedule? I don't know, but I have it now.
Okay. So I have some acquisitions too.
Ooh.
Or just the one, really.
Yeah.
So in the last couple of weeks, I managed to get a big old box of yarn.
From Virtual Yarns.
So,
Ta-da!
So what we're looking at here is the Henry VIII kit for the Henry VIII sweater, the gloves, and the hat. So I'm still sticking to my plan that I outlined in the last episode. So what I've been doing, it's not really a whip, but I've been knitting.
Past whips.
I've been knitting my swatch. He says I've almost finished it. So taking the approach of Gudrun Johnston and doing the swatch in the round, but doing like a double swatch with a steek on each side. I'm much happier with the fact that there's no ends, and I haven't had to worry about sort of it fraying on each side. And also the tension is much more in line with what I would expect the tension to be were I actually knitting a jersey. So I'll get my fingers out of the way.
Probably going to be a wee bit tight, but that's like a sleeve really, isn't it?
It is. It's almost like a sleeve, to be honest. There we go. Get out of the way. So there we go.
Get out of the way.
Yeah. So I'm really loving the colour combination. They're very subtle. There's a lot of colours in here. In particular, there's multiple shades of green, blue. The golds are great. It's a real interesting knit. So Deb from Outlaw Yarn, I'm going to be visiting you probably yesterday. When
the show comes out, it'll be yesterday.
With this in hand, really to see what we can line up with regards to colours from Rebel Light. I'm not sold on matching exactly. I'd be quite interested.
Because you don't like this grey very much.
No, the grey to me on this is a little bit out of place. I almost feel it's out of place. Some people may disagree, but I feel that there's perhaps something out there that could be a bit better.
Because the other colours blend really well. That one has a very solid line. Like if you could blend it into this yellow a bit better, that would be better. They're
very close everywhere except that
you almost want a
break.
Darker. It's hard to know.
But that could be a design thing too. So it's kind of hard to say. But another interesting thing I noticed having gotten this kit and having the Glennie-esque kit from Virtual Yarn. So this is all Hebridean, Jade Starmore's Hebridean 2-ply, is that because often there's a little bit of criticism. It's like with this Henry VIII pattern, you can only buy the pattern if you buy the entire sweater kit yarn.
That's the same for the other one.
And it's the same for Glennie-esque, So you can't just buy the pattern. It's not like it's in a book or anything like that. You actually need the yarn. And we were like, Why is that?
So Stephen bought that entire box of yarn so that he could have the pattern, guys.
Yeah.
I just want you to know that.
Yeah. Oh, and I mean, having the yarn doesn't hurt either.
No, we will definitely use the yarn. It's beautiful.
It is really, really beautiful yarn. But the thing that I found that was interesting was the Glennesque kit and the Henry VIII kit have colours that are the same in terms of by name. But if I was to show these two, I'm not sure how well this is going to come up on camera.
They don't show up that well.
Or if I switch around the other way so shadow's not such a thing.
Yeah, there you can definitely see it there.
You can see this is actually golden plover. Now these are different dye lots of the same colour.
So one's much browner and one's much golden.
Yeah, so this one here is much, much more brown. So this is in the Henry VIII kit. And this is the golden plover from the Glennesque kit. So
they're like different. They're like a shade. They're different shades of the same colour.
Yeah.
So this one's got more. When they've blown them together, they've just put more brown in one of them than the other.
Yeah, and so I feel
That's
that with the bespoke nature of the yarn, it's much safer if you're buying a whole kit of colour to get or to be able to control exactly which yarn goes into it. So if I was to say run out of this
quality control,
and then go and order another batch, there's no guarantee that I will get that again. I could potentially get that, which would be right out of context for the sweater that I might have been knitting.
You could put them together, not together, but you could do a band of one and a band of another.
Yeah.
And it would just look like you're doing a gradient.
Yeah. The other option,
they look like gradients of the same colour.
Yeah. I mean, the other option for me would be just to buy a whole bunch more, and then I could
just buy a whole nother kit.
Then just buy pick and choose between them, because you can buy it individually.
You'd need to ask for particular batch lots.
Yeah, I think almost you would have to get down to batch lots. But anyway, that's something that I hadn't noticed, that we'd kind of thought about a little bit and scratched our heads. But yeah, there's some real distinct differences in the
But that's normal. Even Shetland.
Oh, that's by no means a critique. I actually like both those yellows. Yellows. The richness of the browns and the golds on the one that's going into the Henry VIII is really just perfect. And the Glennesque golden plover actually gives it that sort of more vibrant pop, which is necessary.
So future plans, that's your future plan? Finish Glennesque.
Finish Glennesque. Get into Henry VIII. Finish colour matching that. I get popcorn knit will probably be. I might start the dun cuffs.
Ooh, yay!
There's no real set colours for those, and I don't have a yarn kit, so I'm gonna knit them out of leftover Soul and Goose, Pebble Beach, and then whichever other accent colours I feel I've got too much of.
Fun.
So it'll probably be something out of the Henry VIII kit, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to wind up with more yarn there. And it doesn't take a lot of extra yarn to do the cuff. So
bits and bobs.
Yeah, so that's it. And then obviously Biblopile as well. So that should keep me busy for the next at least 3 months. Anyway.
Yeah, it'll keep you quiet over winter.
Yeah.
We've got some holidays coming up, so we'll be able to do some hardcore knitting. It'll be good.
And what about your future plans?
So my obviously the plan is to get these whips finished, because it's not stressful, but it does seem a bit much. That's one of the things I liked about Sarah, is that she's like me, like 4 whips seems like a lot, rather than someone who's got 17 whips, and that seems like a comfortable number. So I am going to knit, the next in my queue is a Stratified by Tif Neilan. It's from the book Worsted by Amy, just forgotten her last name, Gilly, I suppose. She's not French, but she lives in France. So the Stratified is one of the patterns out of this. Almost every pattern in this I want to knit, including the Nora Gone one, which is called I've just forgotten now. We were just looking at it.
We were just looking at it. It's like
Perennial. I really, really want to knit Perennial. And I tried knitting it, and it was just beyond my skill, and it's knit flat, and all of it just was too much, but I still want to knit it. Anyway, so about half of the things or more in here I want to knit. Definitely highly rate this book for its patterns. But the one that I want to knit is Stratified, and it is a worsted weight pattern, so I have tons of worsted weight yarn. I'm going to use Outlaw Yarn Rebel, which I've got lots of stash to use up from. So it requires 5 colours, and I'm just choosing at the moment what colours I want. I'm not sure about the blue and the red, so I'll probably go with some version of what I just showed you. Hang on.
You could probably need a striped swatch or something.
Yeah, I'll do a little bit of swatching of just striping them in the colours that they've asked for, just to decide how I want them. Because I kind of wanted something that was more pastel-y, which is these colours. So these are my base, and then I just need 2 other colours to go with them. One needs to be a pop. I'm missing one of the colours. I've got a yellow that I quite like to go with them, but then the others I'd quite like to be in this colour family. So like a pink, I think, is what I want, but I don't have enough. I might have enough. So I just need to...
Maybe Deep's got some pinks.
Well, no, I'm not trying to buy no yarn.
It might only be one ball, right?
No. So, yeah, and I guess I was trying to get to pink through bright pink, red, or purple. But, so, yeah, I just need to think about what the other 2 colours are. One needs to be a bright pop, which could be that.
Yeah.
And then the other I'd quite like to be a more pastel-y colour. So... yeah, so that's my future plan, is the Stratified by Tif Neilan. I need a nice warm winter jumper. So,
nice.
Yeah.
In that worsted book, there was another cable pattern or something, wasn't there?
Oh, the Nancy Marchant.
Nancy Marchant one that we were having a little bit of a look at.
So there's a pattern in here called the Canal Poncho, which has got colourwork cables. So one presumes that will save Stephen having to put that.
Yeah, I'll just do some blurring instead.
Yeah, that's
Oh, no,
just
the
notes.
directions. No,
Yeah.
that's good.
But it's got colourwork cables which look like they're done in intarsia, so intarsia cabling, because Nancy Marchant is insane. Yeah.
I often, when I was doing St. Bridget, I often thought about coloured cables and whether it was a thing, and it wasn't until I heard about Nancy Marchant and the work and the designs that she's done that actually it is a thing. I have no idea how they work.
She has a whole tutorial that shows you about it. I think it was on Fruity Knitting that she got interviewed. Somewhere I saw an interview with her and she goes into detail on it.
Yeah, because I reckon you could make some really nice effects with almost like gradient cables. I mean,
Yeah.
the ones in that design, they're all very bold and contrasty, but you could do some really nice, subtle ivory... Well, no, like a white background with like trees and different coloured...
Yeah, well, one of the things she has looks like that because it's light coloured background and then it's in the greens, and that I think that's where she said she started, was trying to create that effect.
Right.
Very, very beautiful. Not anything I would be remotely interested in doing, but I would wear it if you made it.
Who knows? Let's never say never.
Yeah. Future plans.
Yeah, not this year.
So anyway, very, very good book. Highly recommend if you pick it up. It's got some, so it has knits by it's kind of an all-star cast really. It's got
Max is in there.
Maxim Cyr. It's kind of all of our favourites. Just looking for so it's got two Tif Neilans, Nora Gone, Maxim Cyr, Nancy Marchant, Andrew Murray, Sylvia Watts Cherry, Stephen West. So lots of our favourites.
Fantastic.
Really nice knits.
Alrighty, so future plans. There's plenty there.
Yeah. Yep. I'm just trying to stay focused. So if I have an itch to cast on something new, following my own advice, and I've given this advice on the show before, what I will do is cast on a swatch and start swatching for the Stratified and actually start to think about how I want my colours to look.
Right. Yeah. No, fantastic.
Take my own advice.
Yeah. I'd also actually be kind of interested in looking at that Shetland hat pattern and maybe visiting our Shetland colour wall behind us.
Yes, because you could of course make it with the Shetland yarn just as easy.
Yeah,
that would be cute.
It did kind of run through my head. So
Yeah.
I'll see how yours turns out first though.
Yeah.
Not saying you couldn't do it as well if you wanted.
I'm rubbish with colours, so I'm just I prefer to just get the kit.
Yeah, my prize-winning colour swatching. Yeah.
Oh, oh yeah, from Wairapa.
Yeah, there was a reference to a previous episode. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Well done.
Yeah,
Hey.
you're welcome.
You are our colour work specialist. It has to be said.
So yeah, no, okay. So does that bring us to the end of the...
I think it does, and we actually managed to hit the mark. We really need to go. We're going to an opening of a community centre and we need to get cracking.
Yes.
We've got children roaming around the house,
Yeah.
Probably hungry at this point.
And on filming day, it's also Mother's Day, so we've got visits to receive and to do.
Yes, so visits from the children and the grandchildren and then visiting to the mother.
Yes.
Yay. Hi, Mum.
Yeah. Hi, Mum. We'll see you later.
Yeah, we will have seen you later.
That's true. Alrighty, so thanks for joining us. Do feel free, if you've made it this far, please, give us a like. We appreciate subscriptions. We really do value the time that you spend watching us.
Yes.
And
all the comments. Love the comments.
Oh, the comments are great. Just please keep them coming. Questions, comments, help, advice, whatever. It's
anything you've got to say about anything we've said, because we could be wildly off the mark. We have no idea. We don't pretend to be specialists, but we know that some of you are hugely skilled at knitting. And
and your advice, we take your advice.
We do.
And we go out and check out the pattern recommendations and everything.
So thank you so much.
I have way too many additional patterns in my library now, so thank you. I look forward to knitting some of those as well.
Yeah. All right, we better get cracking.
Indeed.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right. We'll see you later. Goodbye.
Ka kite anō.